The Samoa Tsunami of 2009 by Samantha. The Samoan Islands are in the South Pacific Ocean, about 2,500 miles southwest of Hawaii. Samoa is made up of large volcanic islands reaching heights of more than 6,000 feet above sea level. The Samoan Islands are near the equator, with a large body of water surrounding them. Before I start talking about the specific details of the Samoa Tsunami of 2009, let me give you a little bit of background about what a tsunami is, so that you can understand what the people of the Samoan Islands experience. Tsunami is a Japanese word that translates to harbor wave. Tsu means harbor and nami means wave. Tsunamis are most commonly generated by earthquakes, landslides, or volcanic eruptions. They can also be caused by an impact of a large meteorite in the ocean, but that is very rare. The most common source of tsunamis is from earthquakes, as was the Samoa Tsunami of 2009. The Earth's sea floor is made up of a system of plates that are in constant motion. When these plates run into another, causing an abrupt change in the sea floor, an earthquake can occur that abruptly displaces the overlying water. This creates a large wave or series of waves that can be as high as 200 feet or more, that travel in the ocean as fast as 500 miles per hour. That's the speed of a jet aircraft. They can also have a wavelength of up to 621 miles. On September 29, 2009, at 6:48 p.m. Samoa Standard Time, an 8.3 magnitude earthquake on the Richter scale struck in the South Pacific, approximately 118 miles from the American Samoa island, and triggered the Samoa Tsunami. The Richter scale is a scale on which earthquake strength, referred to as magnitude, is measured. The Richter scale indicates the seismic activity released by an earthquake at its epicenter on a scale generally from 1 to 9. So, as you can imagine, an 8.3 earthquake is significant and will generally result in severe destruction and loss of life over large areas. The Samoa Tsunami is not the most well-known tsunami, but it made a huge impact on the Samoan Islands. The Samoa Tsunami generated waves reaching up to 15 to 20 feet high and extending up to 1 mile inland, causing much loss of life, significant flooding, and the total devastation of coastal villages, communications, the water supply, and the electrical power structure on the Samoan Islands. As the Samoa Tsunami hit the islands, cars and people were swept out to sea. As noted earlier, water and debris had traveled up to 1 mile inland. The floodwaters consumed people, cars, boats, and homes and completely crushed villages. Reports indicate that as many as 184 people died. Survivors were huddled up on higher ground in nearby hills for hours, avoiding the long reach of the tsunami. An estimated 241 homes were demolished. 308 homes had major damage, 1 school was destroyed, and 4 others were extensively damaged. Although there was massive destruction all over the islands, there were some villages that were basically untouched. The main electrical generator on the American Samoa was destroyed, the Satala power plant. There was no power and only limited communications. The Federal Emergency Management Agency, FEMA, immediately flew in generators to the American Samoa using cargo planes. FEMA initiated a 3-tier power restoration plan of putting into place larger generators to restore electricity in American Samoa, while the Satala power plant was being replaced. The water system was also damaged, and getting fresh water to parts of the islands was disrupted because of broken water lines. Samoans had to conserve and boil water until the drinking water supplies were restored. It was a devastating time for the people of the Samoan Islands, and the Satala power plant has still not been replaced. Predicting tsunamis in Samoa is difficult because the historical record of tsunamis affecting Samoa is poorly documented, partly because early Samoans had no written language. We do know, however, that there have been at least 36 tsunamis that have struck the Samoan Islands since 1837. The Samoa Tsunami of 2009 was actually the first tsunami that had caused deaths in the U.S. in more than 30 years. I hope now you have a better understanding of the Samoa Tsunami and a greater appreciation for the devastation experienced by the Samoans in September 2009.